Hi, this is Monte Tilgner working with the state of Iowa in 2023 to provide videos to help officials registered throughout the athletic association to develop their mechanics and have better consistency through video training. This particular video training will be on free kicks and scrimmage kicks. We've got a couple new mechanics that we're going to use in both free and scrimmage kicks, and we'll also have some video which will talk about some rules involving free and scrimmage kicks as well. So take a look at this first play. This is going to illustrate our new mechanics for free and scrimmage kicks this year. So if we put this in action here, you can see we've got our back judge there. We'll come back to that. So in the past, looking at the NFHS mechanics, we're just not in very good position to officiate plays and these free kicks. And also we have people, officials looking at things at different angles than they're used to throughout the normal game. So what we're going to have state of Iowa officials do this year is we're going to have the referee, the headline judge, and the line judge be on the goal line for a free kick. If the kicker is not very good and is not, he's not going to get that ball to, let's say the 15, 20-yard line, then we can move up to the 5, maybe the 10-yard line. But we would rather have, when he fields the ball, we would rather have you at the 5 or the 10-yard line and 15 yards behind where he is, and then you can see that action in front of that runner and those blocks and so on. And you're trailing the play, similar how you are during a regular scrimmage play. So we have our H and our L who are going to be trailing the play. They're going to be looking for blocks out in front, responsible for that ball carrier, and then they'll be having the spot at the end of that run. The referee will be on the goal line like he normally has been, but more in the middle of the field, which will help him in making decisions on ones that threaten the goal line. Our back judge will be on K's line like he always has been. He'll go to the opposite the press box side after giving the ball to the kicker. And on the kick, he will diagonal in from the 40-yard line to the 50-yard line on the hash mark nearest to him. So he'll be coming onto the field at an angle and about 10 yards downfield. The umpire will be on the press box side and will angle in from R's line, which is the 50, and he will diagonal into the field to the hash mark about 10 yards downfield and will end up about the 40-yard line. And this way, the umpire is in the middle of the field or in the field of play, having players come at him, which is the look that he's accustomed to. Our back judge also has players coming at him, which is what he's used to. And then our line of scrimmage officials will be on the sideline, and they will be officiating the play from there. So you can see here, the old mechanic, we've got an official who is looking back to watch this return man, and he's really not watching any blocks, not being able to do anything very efficiently. So if he was down here, he'd be able to look through the returner and be able to look at blocks out in front. All right, so we'll finish that play up, move on to the next play. So on this play here, this will illustrate very well. This was a play that happened last year, and this will show very well why we need two officials who are going to be at that goal line pylon if that kick is going to be coming down anywhere inside the 20. We want to be on that goal line pylon. And this is exactly why. If I go back and take a look at this kick, you can see it's coming down. It bounces at about the 3-yard line. And where does it go out of bounds? We don't exactly know because we don't have anybody there. You can see we've got, I think this is our umpire in the old mechanics, and he's 15 yards away, doesn't have a good angle. Our referee is here, doesn't have a good angle. So these are comments from a game actually I filled in and worked on the line of scrimmage, I believe I was, last year. with this crew, and we had this play come up, and this was my comment when we were going through the film and talking about different plays. Is most crews in our area are doing a flat triangle with the HL on the pylon, maybe the 5 or the 10, and the referee back there. And this is exactly why we know if we're standing right here and this ball goes over our left shoulder, we know that it's a touchback. If it goes over our right shoulder, we know that it's a kickoff out of bounds. So the comment by the referee was, yeah, how does the same kid who doinks one off the goal kick one out of bounds at the 1? Well, yeah, we never know exactly how they're going to do it, but at least it puts us in better position. So moving on to the next one here. We can see we have another deep kick, and just looking here with our new mechanics, we would again have our headline judge on this pylon. We would have our line judge on this pylon. Our referee would be right in the middle of the field with his feet right there, and he'd have a much better look at this ball to see, because we know if that ball breaks the plane at all, we have a touchback. So he'd be a lot closer to help make that decision on this particular play. And then again, we're trailing them up the field of play. And we're just in better position at the end of the play. Don't hurry to get that ball. Let's make sure we clean up any dead ball things that happen. All right, next kick here. Just what's our rules? So let's take a look at the play, and we'll go back, take a look. So we've got a kick that bounces. This is a 1. He kicks it down into the ground and pops it up. So this is a pop-up kick. Now, remember, this is different than college. The high school rule is that if this ball is a pop-up kick, that it's blown dead immediately, and we have a 5-yard foul and a re-kick. It's a dead ball foul. So how do we know? Well, basically, the general rule is that ball gets above the players' heads, then that's too high for a pop-up kick. So this one definitely should be blown dead. Right now, we should be hammering on the whistles, and we want to do so we don't have any players that come in contact with each other. On this kick, there's no reason why we should have any of these collisions that are happening. Not a whole lot there, but usually there will be. And, because and the back judge who is on K's line is responsible for this. He's got to watch and see that ball gets driven down into the ground. And right now, when that ball comes up that high, he's hammering on his whistle, shutting this play down. It's dead, and we are going to back up 5 yards, and we're going to have a re-kick. So watching this play, I was curious to see, because this crew definitely let this go. And so I watched the next play, and I saw that they did give K the ball. I'm sorry, they did give R the ball and moved it 15 yards downfield. So apparently what they did is they called KCI. But that's not the correct ruling. We need to know these rules. We need to know that a pop-up is going to be a dead ball. We're going to look at a pooch kick here in a second. But this is a pop-up. This would be a dead ball, and they would have to re-kick. So if we look at this next play here, okay, now we're going to have a pooch kick. So a pooch kick is not driven into the ground. It's popped up, okay, right off the tee, not driven to the ground and up. So this pooch kick is a legal kick. However, we know that, and this is just a note here about, remember, if it is a 1, driven to the ground and pops up, that pop-up kick is going to be a dead ball. But in this case, this is a pooch. He pooches this. So we got to be able to see that. Is it a pooch, or does he drive it in the ground? Because these look pretty similar, okay? But this is going to be a legal kick. But there's the problem right there, is we definitely have KCI. All right, so again, this is a NFL and NFHS rule that is different, and it doesn't matter if there's even a R player in the vicinity to attempt to make a catch. K cannot catch this ball out of the air. we know K can catch it after a couple things. It's gone 10 yards and it has touched the ground. Or if R touches it before it goes 10 yards. In this case, if I back up, you can see here, it doesn't matter. Like I said, this ball is still in the air. So this player, for K, he can't try to catch it out of the air. And also, this player must give this receiving team player an opportunity to catch that ball, an unimpeded opportunity. So on this one, we should have a flag. This flag should go down at the 48-yard line. We would have KCI 15 yards from that spot, and that's where Team R would put it into play. Now, if Team A would, if K would be in legal possession at the end of that play, then we still have that KCI, situation where we're going to go 15 yards. All right, now what's the rule on this one? Again, we talked about this. If there's no K, if there's no player, so this is another pooch, so it's legal. If this player here is not in position to make that catch, this player right here would not be able to run down and catch the ball. If so, it would be considered KCI, and that's by rule, even though there's no R player in position to make the catch. Doesn't matter. They have to wait till that ball hits the ground. So again, if this player is not here and this player comes down and he catches this ball at the 35-yard line, we by rule have KCI. We would go 15 yards and we would have team R, which would be putting the ball into play at the 50-yard line on the near hash. Okay, now let's switch to some punt plays. And again, we're going to do things a little bit different mechanically on punts just to put us in better position at the end of the play. So first of all, just notice this. The referees, we've got a dead clock here. So we know if we had a dead clock that the clock will start, the game clock will start on the snap. That being said, everyone knows that, the timers know that. We do not have to wind this in. So we see the referee on the snap winds the clock, and there's no need to do that. That's an old mechanic, one that's no longer used. So they'll start it on the snap. We do not have to wind that in. So this shows our old mechanic, and on the old mechanic, we're just not in good position at the end of the play. A lot of times we get pinned way too far from the side, or way too close to the sideline, way too far away from these players. The most important thing for the back judge to see is if a return man muffs the ball, or if he pulls his arms away and it doesn't touch him at all when he's attempting to make that catch. So to properly see this, we want the back judge to be 7 yards deeper and 7 yards wider, wide of the return man when he's attempting to make that catch. And with the old mechanics, we're usually way too far away to really make a good judgment on this. So this just shows where our back judge is during this play. I'll go forward a little bit. Again, this ball's coming down. When this ball comes down and hits right here, we would like our back judge to be about 7 yards behind the ball. If there's a return man here, about 7 yards behind it and about 7 yards wide. So we would like him to be sitting right in here where he's got a good angle to be able to see if we have a catch or not. All right, in this case, our back judge still could be sitting right at that location and be able to monitor what's going on with these players coming down the field. Okay, but we're just way too far away on this. Looking at another punt play here. Again, you can see we end up just not in a good position when the ball's coming down. So the ball's coming down right now, and again, we are way too far away to be able to make a ruling, especially if this player is attempting to make a catch. So our ball is actually right here. So we go forward a little bit. Again, ideally we would want, when that ball comes down, we would want our official to be right in this area, and being able to watch this action. So we want you at about a 45-degree angle, about 5 to 7 yards behind, 5 to 7 yards deeper when that ball is coming down and hits the ground and is potentially caught. All right, so the next one, I believe, one more, I think, showing the old mechanics and ending up in not a very good position. And then we'll take a look at a couple where we are in better position because of how we start out. We'll talk about those initial positioning. So again, this old mechanic, again, the back judge is way on the H's side. It's pinned to the sideline and just straight line like that, just not in good position to see if the catch is made or not. So and then we want to officiate out in front with blocks out in front of that, and we know that our wing's going to have the spot. All right, so on this punt play, this will show a little better. And first of all here, let's talk mechanically. If we have two return men, what we want the back judge is to be splitting those two return men. So our back judge is in good initial position here. He's about 10 yards behind these guys, right in between them. And then you can see what he's going to do is this is the guy who's going to return this kick. So what the back judge is going to do is he's going to move to get in a better position to be able to see that catch. And you can see on the catch, back judge is in very, very good position here. We're about 5 yards behind, maybe a yard or two back further would be good, especially with that goal line being threatened, because you need to make that ruling on that. But he's at a good angle here where he's going to be able to take a look and see if this ball is caught or not. And now you can see he's going to toss the beanbag in case we have a PSK foul. And then he's just officiating the play. He's watching for blocks out in front of those runners, killing the clock at the end. Nice work. Again, this is a really good punt. It's about a 50-yard punt. And again, our back judge is in better position. So let's talk about this. Again, we do have two return men. We do not ever want our back judges to end up outside of the hash at the end of the kick. So in this case, we have two return men. It's going to be fielded by this one here. So our back judge is just going to move and get position-wise up here where he can see, have a good angle to see this catch. Okay, so again, this is a deep kick. Back judge is retreating. Good job on that to make sure you don't get stuck and have that ball bounce behind you. So right off the kick, back judges, you are going to watch to see the depth and direction of the ball. And as soon as you are done with that, you are going to focus on that returner for a fair catch signal. The back judge, until the ball has been caught, the back judge has zero responsibilities for blocks. He has to be watching that return man for a fair catch. He's the only one that's going to be doing that. And we'll talk about that on a future training tape as well. But nice job here. You can see the back judge is going to toss the beanbag. And again, we don't need to toss it to the spot that he catches it, just the yard line. So he catches this ball at the 10, and our back judge tosses his beanbag up, and now he's finishing officiating that play, helping out with that spot. Okay, so now we've got another kick. Again, on this one, this is going to show a block in the back, so I believe it does anyway. But anyway, our back judge is in really good position here, splitting these two guys. Let's see where he ends up. We'll come back to the umpire and talk about that in just a second. Well, let's take a look at our back judge. So back judge gets we're a little close here. So you need to pick up the depth and direction of that ball. And then right now, what you should be doing is just, all you got to do is slide over to about right here. Okay, and if you're right there, then when this ball's caught, we would like you ideally to be, like I said, 5 to 7 yards behind and to the side. So we'd like you sitting right in here where you've got a good angle to see how that ball is caught. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at what I'm talking about with our umpire here. So we need to know mechanically what everyone is doing. So our line judge coming down the field is going to be responsible for this block, the gunner on his side. The headline judge, who's going to wait until that ball is kicked and crosses line of scrimmage, but then he's going to get on his horse as well, be hustling down. He's going to be watching the gunners on his side. So he's going to be responsible for this action right here with these two players. Our umpire, as soon as the second wave of guys come by you, you need to turn around, because umpire, you're going to be responsible for these players in the middle of the field coming down for potential blocks in the back. All right, so let's get rid of a few of those. And continue and watch this play. So umpire, turn a little quicker here, because this block right here is the one that we need to see. So let's keep an eye on these two guys right here as we continue. Okay, that's a takedown right there by our return man. And we don't have anyone who sees this block. We know that our line judge is going to be looking here. Now, since there's space here and really we can't have anything, then we don't want to officiate error. So if our headline judge is doing a good job, he's not going to worry about these guys, because there's space between them. They can't foul or be fouled. So then he might look to the inside. He might be looking in here and see this, but really this would be in the middle of the field. This would be our umpire, who's going to turn and get that second wave and get that foul. And that foul occurs before the catch, so we're going to beanbag that spot, because that's going to be our spot. And it's just a different way of doing this by the back judge, and either one is fine. You can see what he does. He's got a bag in his hand, and as he's coming forward and continuing to officiate, he just drops the bag where that ball was caught. And that's fine. We really just need it on that yard line, but a nice job of getting that bag down, because in this case, we should have a PSK foul, which would mean we would be enforcing it from that spot. All right, next play here is another punt play. And again, just talking about our H and L are going to have the gunners on their side. Umpire has the second wave. And this is going to be an IBB that, so illegal block in the back, needs to be seen and thrown by our line judge as he's coming down the sideline. And we got to go hard downfield and get down there as far as we can and watching those blocks. So let's take a look here. So let's talk a little bit about chase mode versus and not chase mode. This player right now is just a little bit behind him, but you can see he's going to end up behind him in chase mode. And if he's in chase mode, any contact in the back is going to be considered a foul for a block in the back. If he's not in chase mode, if he's beside him, then we need all of that contact to be in the middle of the numbers, okay? So with our new mechanic, our back judge would be right here. That'd be a perfect position for our back judge. And again, let's look at why our back judge can't see this, this block in the back, okay? But that's where our back judge should be. And now that the catch has been made, now our back judge is going to officiate this play and watch for blocks. But you can see where our back judge is almost on the sideline. So just, way out of position. And with our new mechanics, we're going to be in a lot better position at the end of the play. So we need a bag down at the spot of that catch, and going back and seeing why our back judge cannot see this block in the back. Again, right now, as soon as our back judge picks up the depth and direction, when this ball looks like it might be 10, 15 yard line, we would like our back judge to be on the goal line, because that's a line that we need to be at in order to see if that ball breaks the goal line and is a touchback or not. But in this case, once he gets the depth and direction, now he's got to be watching this return man for a fair catch signal. So knowing that he's watching for a fair catch signal, our wings coming down the field know that and know he will not be responsible for any blocks. So this guy's coming from this side. So as our Line judge is coming down the field. He's going to be looking at these guys. And now we're in chase mode. Now he's behind him. And that's our block in the back right there. Okay. So from behind, chase mode, block in the back, right at the 12-yard line. So we would want to flag at the 12-yard line. But actually, this kick is still in the air. So we really don't need that location. That flag does not have to be there because that's not going to be the spot of enforcement. So this is going to be a PSK foul. It's going to be enforced from the end of the kick. So it's going to be enforced from position 5, which is the end of the kick at the 5-yard line back to the 2.5. And that's a good example here. This here, watch this. The difference in this block is it's going to be a side block. Okay, so he's not behind him, pushed him in the back. That is a side block. That would be a legal block. We still got to finish the play and know that we're going to come back to that. So that wraps up our training tape on free and scrimmage kick, some of the new mechanics, and a couple things to think about with who's watching who for blocks. There will be a document that will come out from the state that will also illustrate again where the position of our officials are going to be and how they're going to officiate things throughout the play. So thanks for your attention. Hopefully this helps you understand our new mechanics. I think you're really going to like these new mechanics once you get used to them, and it'll put you in a lot better position to be able to officiate these plays. Thanks, and we'll talk to you again soon.